Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, sir. This is Rajan.
Okay.
I done with my master's in computer science. Basically, I'm from Warangal.
Okay.
Right now, I'm living in San Jose, California.
Okay. So, do you have any previous background about .NET?
No, sir.
In your project or something? No idea, right?
Sir? No
In
idea,
your
sir.
projects in your projects? Academic
No
projects?
idea.
No. Anyone have academic projects background about .NET? Okay, I guess no. So, who is next?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes. Sir. Yeah, the actual Gavilaki. Yeah, guys, I'll be in touch with you guys. We're on these all guys, on the weekends. I'll be in touch with you. And weekend classes, I will, after 1 or 2 weeks, I will schedule them and then I will let you know the classes, those classes. Until then, the Krishnakant will be continuing classes. The second point is, వీళ్ళకి నేను చెప్పింది కృష్ణకాంత్ ఒక జస్ట్ ఫంక్షన్ మీద ఒక ఫంక్షన్ కాన్సెప్ట్ చెప్పి ఒక 5 ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇచ్చాను ఫంక్షన్స్ చేయమని చెప్పి వాళ్ళు చేసుకొని వచ్చారు. బట్ నేను కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ అడిగినప్పుడు కొంచెం చెప్పలేకపోయారు. సో మళ్ళీ రీడూ చేయమని చెప్పాను నేను కొంచెం అవే ఫంక్షన్స్ మళ్ళీ. సో అవి జస్ట్ చెక్ చేసేసి ఒకసారి వెరిఫై చేసేసి ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసి కొంచెం కోడ్ అక్కడక్కడ చేంజ్ చేసి వాళ్ళ క్వశ్చన్లు అడిగేసి వారికి తర్వాత క్లాసెస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ మామూలుగా అలా వెళ్ళిపోయిన బాగా. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే.
అనే వీకెండ్స్ క్లాస్ ఉంటుందండి సాటర్డే?
ఒక 2 వీక్స్ తర్వాత ఉంటుందమ్మా. ఒక 2 వీక్స్ తర్వాత.
ఓకే. ఈ కమింగ్ సాటర్డే సండే అయితే ఏముండదు అని?
కమింగ్ సాటర్డే సండే అయితే ఏం లేదు. ఒక 2 వీక్స్ పడుతుంది. కొంచెం చెప్పిన తర్వాత దెన్ వీ కెన్ మూవ్ ఫర్దర్.
ఓకే అండి.
ఓకే.
Okay,
థ్యాంక్స్.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, I'm first of all making everyone organizer. Narendra Reddy, I'm not able to make you an organizer. Any reason? I don't know. Can some other organizer make him as an organizer? Hello?
Yes, sir.
దానికి ఆప్షన్ రావట్లేదు సార్.
అదే నేను మాట్లాడట్లేదు అసలు. ఉన్నాడా నరేందర్ రెడ్డి?
మేబీ ఫోన్లో ఉన్న లాగిన్ అయ్యాడు.
హలో సార్. దిస్ ఇస్ నరేంద్ర.
ఎక్కడి నుంచి లాగిన్ అయ్యారు?
మాది నరేంద్ర నవీన్ అనేది నా ల్యాపీ సార్. నా ల్యాపీలో ఆడియో ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, రావట్లేదు సౌండ్.
ఇక్కడేం లేదు. ఓకే ఫైన్. సో so tell me about yourself, Narendra.
My name is Narendra. I am from India. I am doing the Masters in Information Technology in Colorado Technical University. I completed my Masters on September, maybe coming September. Before completion of Master, I gonna taking like CPT on July to September. And I have no idea about any codings. In my undergraduate, I studied mechanical engineer. I just started right now studying everything like based from the basics, on the .NET. Before I don't know any experience on that coding like anything.
Okay. Okay, whatever that is.
Yeah, wherever I'm going to inherit that interface, I have to implement, definitely I have to implement that interface. So in the interface, I can declare only the
అనే క్లాస్ రికార్డ్ చేసుకోవచ్చా మీకు?
Sure. అందుకే కదా ఆర్గనైజ్ చేసింది.
ఓకే, యాక్చువల్లీ ఎలా రికార్డ్ చేయాలండి?
మీరు డౌన్లోడ్ చేశారా?
సారీ,
EXE డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తారా? EXE
ఈఎక్స్ ఐడియా లేదండి.
EXE అనేది అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు వెబ్ లో లాగిన్ అయ్యారా లేకపోతే ఒక డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుని సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకున్నారు?
వెబ్ లోనే యాక్చువల్ అప్లికేషన్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకున్నాను ల్యాప్ లో.
సో అప్లికేషన్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుంటే మీకు కింద రికార్డ్ దిస్ మీటింగ్ అనే ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుంది.
Yeah, only. Okay, sir.
అది పెట్టండి.
Okay.
అలాగే కొంతమంది చేస్తున్నారు కూడా వాళ్ళ దగ్గర.
యా, గాట్ ఇట్.
Okay, someone share your screen and let's see where we are. Okay. What Srikanth garu has covered and where we are. Who knows what? Let's discuss in this class. Okay. Okay. Can you open your Visual Studio? Just bear with me. So everyone installed in your missions?
Machines in the sense,
Your laptop, I mean to say.
yeah. We are everybody installed like Visual Studio.
Okay, which version?
I just installed like 2015.
Very good. SQL Server also there, right? SQL Server. Is it there?
SQL Server లేదు.
SQL Server Management Studio also should be there in your mission. I mean your laptop or desktop, whatever it is. That's why I'm calling mission.
That should be inbuilt, or we can.
No, we need to download again. Like Visual Studio, we need to download SQL Server also. This is SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so you can download 2012 or 14.
Do you have a specific site for that?
Site, yeah.
MSDN is fine. Like you can download everything from there.
Actually, Srikanth has suggested us the site so that we have downloaded it from.
Can you please forward the link to us, sir?
Okay, sure, definitely. I'm sending my mobile number here.
Okay.
I hope you know this is India number, so you can add like how you will add that user site.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what my intention is, just let's create a WhatsApp group. I will send the link, and let's be in touch base in it. Okay.
Okay.
If you're not able to join, inform there. Okay. And if you have any doubts, ping there.
Mm.
I want to take like initiative and create a group on our website. Okay, let's continue with the class for today. అందరు తెలుగు వాళ్ళేనా ఇక్కడ హరి కృష్ణ కృష్ణ అనేది హరి
కృష్ణ అనే అది కరెక్టే తెలుగే
అందరు తెలుగేనా అయితే సృజన్ కుమార్ వీర్ నరేందర్ రెడ్డి శివ సందీప్ రెడ్డి రంజిత్ ఓకే ఫైన్ ఏంటి రిజల్ట్ నేను తీసుకోవాలి యాక్సెస్ మీరు ఎక్కడున్నారంటే శ్రీకాంత్ గారు ఏదో చెప్తున్నారు కదా ఒకసారి అది చూద్దాం.
ఓకే
ఇదా తను చెప్పారు
ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఏమన్నారు
జస్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఫంక్షన్స్ యూస్ చేసి మెయిన్ మెథడ్ లో ఫంక్షన్స్ కాల్ చేయమన్నారు. తర్వాత ఇంకా మొన్న క్లాస్ జరిగింది చెక్ చేశారు, మళ్ళీ క్లాస్ జరగదు.
ఓకే సో మీకు ఎంతవరకు అర్థమైంది అసలు ఏంటి క్లాస్, వాట్ ఈస్ ఎ క్లాస్, వాట్ ఈస్ ఎ ఆబ్జెక్ట్? Let's come from basic or you have basic knowledge about it. What is the namespace?
Namespace is nothing but collection of classes, right?
Okay. Next, what is a class?
Collection of members.
Collection of objects.
Members, it's like parameters.
Yeah, it's not a parameter, it's a property, you can say.
Properties, yeah.
So a class is a
collection of members.
I mean, not logical, I mean it's a collection of methods, properties, if required variables, okay? So all these things. And object is an instance of the class, okay? So directly a class cannot act. I mean, if you want to invoke some methods, directly a class cannot do that. We need to create an instance for the class, and then only we can reuse the or use that method. Okay? So until and unless it is a static class, then we can directly go on do the necessary things. I mean, directly that method or property can be accessible if it is a static class. So let's see. Here the namespace is nothing but the logical collection of the classes. Okay, so writing multiple classes with the similar functionalities. I mean, we want to design a application like this, just like an online application. Okay, so that might be a bookstore or something. Okay, so at this moment you need to have a books and authors, okay, and readers and interests. So some different based on the requirement, there will be different categories in that, right? So those are nothing but we can write into a classes. Like books is a class. There you can write book ID, book name, book cost. Okay, so from who is the author this book was written by, and separately you can go for the author class. Okay, so what is the author class will contain? Author ID, what is the experience of author, what is the background of author. Okay, so where is the author came from, such kind of details you can fill up by using the properties. These are all called, I mean, within the module you might be differentiated within a space, different classes. Okay, so a class can be having a method as discussed or properties. Let's see here. We're getting some syntax error here. Let's figure out that first. So when we're done here, we want to go on to build solution. Okay, you can right click on the solution. This is called solution here. Okay, again a solution is a solution is a thing where you can have multiple projects within the solution. Okay, now we have a console application within this solution, right? You can have class library, you can have web application, you can have a web service application, or anything. There can be a multiple projects under one solution. Okay, so that is the concept of solution. So whenever you're creating a project, it will first check for the solution availability. If the solution is not there, it will create the project solution with the name of the project. Like if when you are creating a project such as, so it doesn't have any solution, so it was created a solution with the same name. Okay, if you are trying to create another project under this solution, there is a possibility to create a project without again a solution name. Okay, that means see, this is a class library. Okay, so what are all these called? These are all called templates. Multiple languages. So .NET framework, there are it is high level. It is supporting. Is there? Hello. Hello, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Sure.
I guess some connection lost message continue. That's why I'm asking. Okay. So the major languages which is supporting by .NET is C# and VB, Visual Basic. Okay. Nowadays, all the applications are majorly written in C# only. Okay. It is a syntax based. There is a syntax difference between C# and VB. Okay. At the end, both will give the compiled code as unique only. Okay. So intermediate language, that will be called intermediate language. So whatever we are reading here, this is called C# language, right? So whenever you do some compilation, okay, that means if you've done a build, right? Whenever we done right click on this solution and we click on the build, so what will be happen is this C# language, the human readable code will be converted to zeros and one binary code. That is called intermediate language. Okay. Machine will understand that. So what I'm trying to say, like if you are writing in the C# or Visual Basic or Visual C++, whatever it is, at the end everything will be converted to one binary code. Okay, so that a .NET framework can club 2 or 3 languages within one solution. Okay, that's why it is supporting. It is able to support multiple languages. That means within your solution you can write a project with C# and another project with VB and another project with Visual C++. But most of the projects, 90% plus, okay, 90 plus percentage of the projects are going with C#. Which are going with Visual Basic also, they are not started nowadays. Okay, the project might be started 10 years before or 15 years before. They may be still under maintenance. Okay, so which cannot be migrated because of the burden issues, budget issues, not burden, budget issues. Okay, so due to that reason, they are still continuing with the Visual Basic. Otherwise, if you learn about only Visual C#, it's fine for us. Okay, so that is called template. Like in this template, in this Visual C#, you can have multiple things. You can design an application with web application. There are again two different, web application and Windows application. So what is web application? A web application can be accessible by any browser from anywhere. Okay, it need not be within your Microsoft OS, right? What is this? Windows OS. It can be from Android. It can be from other operating systems also, if it is a web application. Okay, if it is a Windows application, the name itself it is saying it is a Windows. Okay, it need to be installed first. You need to pass that exe file. Whoever needs access for this web application, right? So that is the difference between Windows application and the web application. So nowadays most popular is again web application development. In earlier days, Windows application is there. Later, when web came into the picture, web application is a popular thing, right? So in web application, again we have ASP.NET and MVC. Okay, ASP.NET is split into two things. ASP.NET from the day one, it is there with web forms. Okay, ASP.NET web forms application development, web forms application. So, and next, before 3-4 years, MVC was came into the picture. That is also come under ASP.NET only. Okay, so there is high level about web development. Okay, coming to Windows, we have only Windows Forms application. Okay, I hope we did not install Webman. I am not able to see any web kind of things here. హలో వెబ్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయలేదు అనుకుంటాను. ఇక్కడ చూడు ఇంకా ఆన్లైన్ టెంప్లెట్స్ లోనే కనబడుతుంది ఇది ASP.NET అనేది ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో మేబీ యూ నీడ్ టు రీడౌన్లోడ్ ది విజువల్ స్టూడియో. ఓకే,
ఓకే
రేపు చెద్దులే కానీ అది ఇప్పుడు ఇవాళ ఎట్లయినా మనం వెబ్లోకి వెళ్ళాం, ఒక 2 days పడుతుంది అనుకుంటా. సో just ఒక hint ఇస్తుంది. So if you install web, it will be comes under this Visual C#. Okay, C# install చేసిన కాబట్టి you are able to see few templates here. Okay, Windows Forms application, Windows application ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏదైతే డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నాం, other than web application. Okay, it is creating a project. I may be double click that. Okay, anyhow we created it. See, let's see, under this solution we can, as I said, we can have multiple projects with different templates. So what about the first one? It's a console application, right? Yes. Correct? Yeah. So the second one is Windows application. Windows. And another thing you can go for class library also. Okay, so the output of this console application is exe file. Okay, and the output of this Windows application also a exe file. And if you want to run this, you can directly double click that exe file at the end. Let me show you. Console of design, what you have written here. So static was str. Okay. So then if I comment out this, I hope it should work right. So, like, is this explained by someone or is this your code? Narendra?
That is, yeah, నేను మామూలుగా చూసి రాశాను అన్నయ్య అది.
Okay, fine. What do you understand from this code? Anyone from this thing? Hello? Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. So what it is doing?
I think he's adding 2 strings.
Okay.
For that he has taken first, he has given 2 strings, string 1 and string 2. For that he has written console.writeline, and for entering the first string he has taken console.writeline and
so what logic he was trying to do here? I mean to say, at the end.
he is using if else statement.
That's fine. Logic. Ultimately, we want logic, right? If you understand logic, it's fine. You understand the code also.
He's trying to compare 2 strings.
Sorry, he's trying to
Join 2
Compare
strings.
2 strings whether they are equal or not.
exactly. So from where he is getting that strings?
From the user on the console screen.
Exactly. So who is telling all this? All mics are open. Who is answering this?
Myself, Hari.
Hari, fine. So Hari, so this is a separate method. Okay. So in this console application, not only for Hari, everyone. So in this console application, the main method is the first block where your execution will be start. Okay. So let's understand what is debug here. Okay. So if I click a F9 or if I put a breakpoint, by clicking the this location, okay, it will create a breakpoint. Okay. Or if you want, you can click F9 also. Okay. Both are same. That is a shortcut. And the code execution will stop here. That is called breakpoint. Okay. So we know that from what is the logic. Whenever we have written something, so we know that like it will come first to this method, next to this method, some kind of thing. Okay. So in this main method, we are trying to call this internal method. Okay. So str is nothing but the internal method. So I can put a breakpoint here also. Okay. So I'm running now. Let's see what is the flow. Yes. So if you observe, breakpoint was hit. Okay. This is the next statement that will be executed. Okay. That means we are our code is executing and we stop the execution at this moment. Okay. And if you want, you can debug from here. So there are 2 things for debugging the code. What is the debugging? Debugging, you are going to see step by step what is happening within the code. Okay. If you write a several steps, several commands in your C# language, so if you want to understand what is first step is giving the output, what is the second step, how it is utilizing. Okay. Such kind of debugging you can do with the help of breakpoints. Okay. Now if you want to go for the next line, there are 2 options. One is step into, one is step over, another one is step over. Okay. If you go and see, this is nothing but step into, F11. Okay. Another one is step over. Okay. So what is the difference between these 2 again? Step into means, let's suppose if I click F10, it will come to next line directly. Okay. So if this line, whatever the current line, 32 line, if it is having again another block of code, which can be go and dig into that, which we can go and dig into that. I mean, this is another method, right? So if I click F10, okay, that means step over. Okay, if I click F10, it should directly come from 32 to 33 line. Okay, after executing that, the logic will be, I mean, the code execution will be happen for sure, and it will be come directly to this 33 line. Okay, if you go and click F11, that is nothing but step into. Okay, then it will go inside this method and it will come one line by line. Then we can see what is happening into that inner method also. That is called step in. Okay, that is the meaning of step in. It will go inside this method also. Now I am clicking F11. Okay, so it should go to the inside method. See, it was came. Anyhow, if you put a breakpoint here, definitely if you click F10 also, it will come here. Otherwise, it won't come here. Okay. So now I am clicking again F10. Or otherwise, I will use these things so that you will understand what I am trying to do here. Okay. So I am clicking here F10. Okay. So what is this line after I click F10? So here we are, right? So it is saying console.writeLine, enter the string. So that means in the console, this is the console application, right? So for this, the output always will be, we can see in the console. And that is the main interface for the end user and the application. Okay. Here we define two variables, strings. If you want to have something, I mean the console.writeLine will display something to the end user. And at the same time, once it is displayed, if that means like you want to read something from the end user, then console.readLine will help you in that. Okay. So whatever you are writing something in that console and clicking on enter button, the word will be captured into this str1. Okay. Let's see how it is going to do that. Now I am clicking codes. Okay, I'm clicking enter. So what will be happen? So this line was executed. So see, our str1 should be filled with codes, right? So again it is asking for the enter the second word. Okay, I'm doing the same. I should repeat here. Otherwise, it will go to the else block. Codes. Now str2 is nothing but codes, right? So because of these two are equal, okay, so it was came into this if block. What is if condition? It will check the condition, whether if the condition was passed, it will go inside the method. Otherwise, it will skip that. There is no necessary to write else always. Based on our requirement only, we will write. Only if can exist. Okay. If you write else also, if this is wrong, I mean this condition is failed, it will go definitely to this else block. Okay. There is an option of writing multiple if else also with the help of if, else if, else if, else if. Okay. Let's suppose you are comparing with a day. Okay. If today is Monday, else if today is Tuesday, else if today is Thursday, you are skipping some days, let's suppose. Okay. So like that, you can go ahead and compare with different options. That is called if else loop. Okay. If else conditions. Now our code came into this if block because of the condition was passed. And you can see the console.writeLine, it is going to write what are the messages you are typing here. Okay. So I am typing F10 only. Okay. I can do from here. Step over. Okay. I am going step over again. So step over will come back to your the main method which is called. Okay. So I am clicking again step over. So it came to the next line, right? If I click again step over, we will be able to see the console again because console.readLine was here. Okay. So this is just a flow to understand. If you want to write, I mean, basically why we will go for the console application in the day one is what kind of logics we want to implement, that kind of logic we can go ahead and implement with. This is a C# alone application. We need not to have ASP.NET knowledge. Okay, only C# knowledge is fine for writing some logic. That's why we'll go for console application. Now tell me, how many of you understand what is console.write line, what is console.read, what is a debugging? That is a basic. I mean, we need to have knowledge for sure. Debugging, what is step into, step over. Okay. Method calling from another method. Okay. This is a sub method. You are calling this from the another method, main method. Okay. You can have a method to method. I mean, what is it called? Hierarchy can be n number of. That means from this main method you are calling str method, right? From this str method you can call another method if it is there. From that method you can call another method. Some kind of. You are getting me, right? So if you want to implement a know the distance between two locations. Okay, so if I pass location 1, okay, how to tell distance? Okay, come to this like another scenario. Okay, area of a square, let's suppose. What is the logic for area of a square?
A square.
Yes, exactly. A side into a side. Length of the side into length of the side again. Okay. Like that, if you have area of the rectangle, so length into width. This some complex logic, let's suppose. Okay. So area of the circle, what is that? Pi r square, right?
Pi r square.
What is pi here? 3.14. So into what's it called? Radius. Yes, radius into radius. So that will give you. So all kind of logics you can write in your code block, and you will return. You can return that here console.write. Right. Okay. So let's write that. So I'll write one for now, and come with your own ideas and with own functions. Okay. Let me write public. Okay. Let's suppose cost of a cost of get on road price. Let's suppose, okay, that for any vehicle. I'm talking about a vehicle on road price. How to calculate it? We missed something here. Public static and the return type of this method. Okay, I want to return a decimal value at the end. I want to return a price of this vehicle. Okay, so what is this and what is this? What is this? Let's learn here. Okay, this is a public. Public is nothing but an access specifier. Okay, there are 5 kinds of access specifier. Public, private, protected, internal, and the combination of these two, protected, internal. Okay. So these are nothing but the access modifier or access specifiers. What is access? Okay. So you are writing a function within this class, right? If you are writing a function within this class, the function scope, I mean the function accessibility. So you are able to call this str into this method. So that is nothing but accessibility. If you make this as like if you are writing this a private method, okay, and if you're trying from some different class, it cannot be give that access. Okay, that is called access specifier. Okay, let's go one by one. Public can be public class methods or properties can be accessible from anywhere. I mean, within the class or outside the class, within the namespace or outside the namespace by the reference to the namespace. Okay, that is called public. So let's see that in practical also, if you have some time or tomorrow. Okay. Next, private. Private is always within the class. Okay. And next, protected. So what is protected? Like this method or property will be protected till this class, and it cannot be accessible outside the class until you inherit the class. Okay. So there is an inheritance concept. We will learn that also. Write down this somewhere in the notepad. Cut paste this after we completed whatever the topics. Okay. Inheritance. So inheritance means you are inheriting parent to child. You are inheriting. Inheriting means what? I mean, adopting some basic features from parent to the child. That is called inheritance. Okay. So if you are writing that inheritance, then only your object members, I mean, that might be a method or properties, can be accessible into the child method. Whenever you are writing a protected kind of things, they will be accessible within the inherited members. Okay, inherited classes. So that is about protected. Now coming to internal.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please tell me the protected statement once again? What is it? I mean, in a statement where?
Statement is theoretically I can say no. Like if practical, we will come one by one. Okay, anyhow.
Okay. Okay.
So protected is like it is purely based upon the inheritance. That means this is class. Okay, let's open one notepad. Within the namespace, we can have multiple classes, right? Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes. So class 1 can have multiple methods and class 2 can have multiple methods or properties. Okay. So if you write public, okay. So let's suppose public int is it's a property. Let's suppose. I'm not giving full syntax. I'm just writing etc. So if this is property was public, it can be accessible by the other class also.
Yes.
So within this namespace, right? Namespace 1, namespace 2, let's suppose. Okay. You have another class here. Let's suppose. Here also A's can be. Okay. Is it fine? Now this is about public. Now let's see about private. Private. So what can be your private information? It can be your salary. You should not disclose that. Anyone within your organization, not to your friends. So this salary field, it should not be accessible by the other classes also within the namespace even. Okay. Salary can't be accessible. Of course, here also it will not be accessible, right? Outside of the namespace. Okay. Now let's come to our scenario. What is Protected. Protected. Let's suppose maybe your designation at this moment. I'm not getting the real-time example. You can write anything here. Protected string designation. So if you make this designation as protected, it can be accessible only for the other classes. Let me write some other class here. Class 3, okay, which is inheriting class 1. Okay, so in this class 1, we have protected kind of thing, right? So now designation can be accessible because it is inheriting that. Okay, now you got it? What I'm trying to say? What is internal? Okay. Internal is making the availability of this property within this namespace 1. Okay. What I can say? Let's suppose emp ID is there. You got it? What about the protected?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So within this namespace, you can able to call this emp ID is accessible. At the same time, you can say the what is this? We said designation cannot be accessed, right? Okay. Now emp ID is accessible here and accessible here also because all are within the same namespace. Here it can't be accessible. Okay, so the combination of protected come internal is nothing but the protected internal. Okay, so that we can come to understand, like if you write some real-time examples. So this is high level what I'm trying to say. Everyone got it?
Yes, sir.
So this is a very kind of basic, and we will use regularly for any kind of method or any kind of property. Whatever we are writing, we should specify this. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot accessible these methods or properties in some other area where you want to write. Now, what is our intention? Get on-road price and public static decimal. Okay. For getting this, we require some parameters to be passed to this method. Okay. So first one is to calculate a on-road price of a vehicle. That might be a car, or that can be a two-wheeler. What are the parameters you require? So on what basis you will calculate? Anyone have idea? Hello?
Money?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Money.
About the requirement of the vehicle.
Requirement of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Take any one example.
Body part?
Money.
When high level what will requirement? This is my intention.
Maybe it's mileage or it's
No, getting on-road price. Why you require mileage here? I'm talking about the price.
price.
Basically, base price of the vehicle,
Exactly. That is nothing but ex-showroom price, right?
ex-showroom
Yeah,
price.
ex-showroom price.
Okay. So here we can learn one another thing. Okay. So always the method, this is method, right? And properties. If we write some property here, those should be in the Pascal casing. So what is the Pascal casing? What is camel casing again? So if you are writing a word, okay, if you, it should be start with the capital letter first character, and word by word it again it should be repeated with the first character as capital letter word by word. Okay, get on road price. This is a Pascal casing. Coming to the parameters or variables, okay, those should be in the camel casing. So what is camel casing again? It is also similar to this except the first letter. Okay, word by word it will be capital letter, and the first letter of the word also should be a small letter, lower letter. Okay, so these are all coding standards. If you don't write like this also it will work, but it is not a correct way of doing, we can say. Okay, if you write all small letters, all capital letters, it's not a matter. But as per the coding standards, we should write in the camel casing, Pascal casing wherever required. Okay. Now let's see what are the other parameters you might require to calculate a on-road price. So what are the other parameters? It can be int, service tax or road tax, right? Decimal insurance again. Decimal. What else? Accessories cost. So we got in high level some requirements to calculate the on-road price of a vehicle. Okay. Now let's frame this code. How to calculate? Our return type is decimal, right? So that's why it is expecting something. This is a warning, you can say. It is expecting return decimal, but still we are not writing. So because of we are in the middle, it will say like that. You can ignore until you complete this method. Now, so the summation of all this will be the cost of the vehicle, right, on-road price. But here I given int for this service tax. Why? Because it will be some percentage calculation with the on the basis of ex-showroom price. Okay, decimal service tax price equals to ex-showroom price into 12%. Will it give like that percentage? No. We need to calculate 12 by 100 we need to write. Okay. So how we can write that?
Convert into 32?
No, it's a decimal only, right?
Okay.
If you want to convert to integer, then you can write that. Okay. Because of this is also a decimal, at the end you will get a decimal only. Anyhow, you are doing some factor here. I mean, by 100 or by anything, it will give you a decimal kind of number, right? So, and if you want to calculate the return at showroom price plus service tax price, okay, plus insurance plus accessories. So it will give you a decimal value at the end, and the output of the summation is nothing but the on-road price. So it's a kind of basic logic, I can say, to calculate some vehicles cost, right? So how to get this return value? Whenever these are the input parameters which is expecting to execute this method. Until and unless you don't have these input parameter values, let me tell you that what is input parameter here. Okay, so if you don't pass some value to this ex-showroom price, so you cannot access this method first of all, and if even you pass with some 0 or something, your logic will be failed. So that's why it is called input parameter. So to execute this method, we should have the 4 required parameters and their values. Okay. So we can call that method here, get on-road price. See, we are able to call the method with the help of name. And what is the ex-showroom price? Let's suppose it can be a two-wheeler 1 lakh, I mean 10,000, 1 lakh, right? Come on. Okay. Service tax maybe 14. Okay. Insurance 3,500, let's suppose. And what are the accessories cost? Maybe 2,500 roughly. So I passed all these required input parameters so that I should get the return type. So if you write like this, what will be happen? Do you able to capture the output? No, we are not able to capture the output. So it is returning something, then we should capture. What's the difference between these two? This is a void method. So you need not to get the return type of this, return value of this, because it's a void, it won't return you anything. But it is returning some decimal. So you can get the output here, yeah, by defining decimal again, decimal ex-showroom price. Equals to, okay. So these should be equal. Like LHS is equals to RHS. We learned something like in the math, something like that. So what is the output of this? Decimal. So what is the output of this? Decimal. That's all. If it is returning maybe integer or something, you need to finally you need to convert this. That's all. Convert 2 into 32 or something like that. Okay. If you are trying to get integer value here, then also you can do conversion here. Okay. Ultimately, you need to do both, should be in the same time. LHS equals to RHS kind of thing. Okay. So now you got the variable decimal and the value is coming from this method. Okay. So you can print that here. Okay. So let's comment out this method. So not to execute the upper method. Okay. Now again I am building this. Yes. If you debug here, I mean if you start here, because of debugger is there, breakpoint is there, it will be debug. Okay. So F10. What I said you previously understand. If I click step over directly, okay, it won't go inside this method to see the execution. It will directly come to the next line, 34 line. So let me go to the F4. I mean let me click the F4. Sorry, step over. So see, it was directly came to the 34 line. It is not going into this inner method. Okay, that means it is not executing that method, not like that. Okay, it will be execute and it will get the value also. Okay, so see the output is 1,18,000. Maybe if you calculate also you will get the same thing. Let's leave about that. It's not our requirement at this point. Okay, so you are getting some value and you are writing that into your console. So this is how you will write some methods and you can call in different places. This is the input parameters if you want to pass, and this is the output parameters, nothing but the, not output parameters, sorry for that. It is a return type. Output parameters is some other concept, we will learn that. So it is a return type. For any method, it will be expect a return type. If you are not writing any return, it will be a void. Okay, so that is called void methods. So do you understand what is input parameters? How we need to get the return type, return value to our method by declaring some variable and getting the value from here. Okay, is it fine? Can we expect in tomorrow's class some more examples from your side on this?
Sir, I have a small doubt.
Yes.
If I told before that we told that circle formula, right? 2 pi r.
Yes. Yes.
I mean pi r square. Sorry.
Yes. Whatever.
In that also we need to declare that decimal, right, sir?
Yes. Yes. Pi means 3.14, right? Whatever you are multiplying with that 3.14, maybe it will give you decimal only. Yes.
And return type also, that how we define the return types are in that for circle?
The return type is a decimal. I am saying input type. I mean for that radius, it can be an integer also. Okay.
Yes.
Let's suppose you take a circle with a 5 meter, then it can be integer, right? But there is a chance there can be a 5.45 meters also.
Yes.
Based on our requirement. So then at that moment both input type and return type also can be decimal.
Decimal. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So everyone have Visual Studio, right? So can I expect in tomorrow's class more examples from your guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Try to implement these also. Like anyhow we discussed theoretically or practically, we have seen what should be the output should come here. Try to use this also. If you are not able to do, make everyone as public. Okay. Then you should not be any problem. Come in. Hello? Are you saying something?
Nothing, sir.
Okay.
Your voice is breaking down, that's it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so shall I repeat what I told? So try to implement this public everything. If you are not able to do, make everything as public only like this. Okay, so that you will not see any break. Okay, try to create multiple classes and instance those objects. So you know how to create instance of the class, right? So let me quickly add another class here.
Hello.
Hello? May I
Yes,
hear
sir.
you? Yeah, I lost my internet connection, that's why. So, okay, let's discuss this in tomorrow's class, okay? So, how to create an instance. I hope, okay, if you don't know, we will discuss. I hope if you know how to create an object, okay, do implement that also in your assignment. Okay? So,
Can you
I expect some output from you in tomorrow's class. Okay? Is it fine? Any doubt?
can you repeat the assignment question, sir?
Okay. So create a WhatsApp group. Let's be in touch there. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
See you all in WhatsApp. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sir.